Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Hollywood Times YouTube channel. I am Renee Santos. I am super excited for our interview tonight. I have a cast member from the #1 hit show, Jury Duty, with us tonight. Guys, you are in for a ride. This is going to be a fun one. Buckle up. Please welcome to the channel Maria Russell, who plays Inez, aka juror number 10 in the hit show. So guys, welcome to our virtual stage, Maria Russell.
Hi Renee, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here. I have the blessing. The cool thing about this industry is we are so intertwined, and I have the blessing to get to know you as a human, as a friend, as my salsa instructor, and to now see you hop on board the #1 hit show. Like, this is magical for the world. The world needs this show. For me as your friend, as a reporter, you as a performing artist, this is all so awesome. So I can't wait to dive in. I want to hear a little bit about just your experience with all this. But before we launch in, for those of you who have not seen Jury Duty, #1, you're all fired because it's obligatory. But before we dive in and chat with Maria, I want you guys all to watch a clip. And I'm not going to tell you anything about it. So just watch and get curious, and then you'll be addicted like the rest of the world. You guys ready for this? It's about to be magic.
Margarita, margarita. So yesterday we had a day off and we had our hotel bailiff contact Nikki and they let us plan a dinner tonight at Margaritaville.
Hey, we haven't been out, both hotels all together. So I think everybody could use some fun.
Yep. Y'all talking about Margaritaville? Yes. I don't know, it's a little fancy for my taste, but I suppose I wouldn't mind knocking back a couple cans of cold ones.
What is that?
What do you mean, what am I doing? What is she doing? Okay, so that was Caleb. This is James. So Caleb's my character in Lone Pine. I'm starting to immerse myself in the character. He's a real, he's like he's a real everyman, salt of the earth, just, blue collar work.
You?
Yeah.
Every man?
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna buy that. You look like a jackass.
Well, I'm so worried about it. It's not like what I'm going to do on the day.
My margarita, margarita.
Oh, I love that clip. It is one of my favorite. So I mean, man, I got to dive in with the question that I think everybody needs answered. This show has a very unique platform from the creative minds of The Office. Without spoiling the show, tell us a little bit about what makes this show unique.
Well, for starters, it's never been done before. And what it is, it's this show of a look behind of what the jury system is. And our hero, if you will, is not an actor. Everybody on the show is an actor except Ronald. And he thinks he's signed up for a documentary style look at what the jury system is and what it looks like. And unbeknownst to him, it's all fake. Everything. Oh my Lord.
It's so like Punk'd meets The Office.
What it is. And it's I would say 90% of it is improv. And then, there's obviously a skeleton of a script for us. But we had to be on our toes because Ronald turned left, we'd turn left. He turned to the right. We all have to go to the right. It was really miraculous, to say the least. I still can't believe that we did it. I cannot believe that we did this. It's crazy. Crazy.
It's really amazing to watch. What was it like to bring this character alive on this template? Because she is sort of a caricature of you, but yet she parallels you a little, and it makes you curious as to that very question you just answered. How much of it is improvisational? How much of it is scripted? Yeah. And what was that like to not give it away to Ronald?
Oh my gosh. Well, so for starters, my character, you know, and actually this audition process was completely different from any audition that I've had in a long time. Cause yeah. And, you know, usually when you have an audition, you have a script and you get to read lines, right? Well, this one was completely different in that what it called for was to have 2 original characters, and within the scope of different scenarios, you pick and choose, and then you have your character live in that area, right? So I had just got off doing Latina Christmas, and it was our closing the night before, and the deadline for this audition to be turned in was the next day. And I'm like, oh my god, it was so much. I'm like, so I had to quick write something, you know, to have my 2 characters. And my go-to is my stripper with a heart of gold, and then also my chola. So so I had those 2 characters there, and I auditioned for it. It was self-tape, and I I was pinned for like a month later, and then I booked it. So I didn't meet anybody. This was all through self-tape. So I
Wow.
didn't meet a soul. And when I found out my character, um, on paper, you know, before, because I had just, you know, I was like, okay, what's going to make me feel like her? So I had a pen. So you see the pen that I have, that's my pen. Or certain things, I got notebooks. I got certain things that would make me feel like Inez. And on paper, I was like, "Ugh, I really don't like her that much," because she was everything down to her clothing. So I spoke with the producers and I asked them if how much creative freedom did I have, because I wanted to make her a little more fun. And also the clothing, the storyboards, what costumes had. I was like, ew, I don't like her. Very buttoned up, very, you know, seemed too closed off. So I was like, can I make her more fun? Can we change her clothing altogether? They're like, sure. I was like, oh, okay. So literally from the inside out, I kind of created her. Um, so I can infuse a little bit more of Maria in there too, because I was looking at him like, if I don't like her, then the audience isn't going to like her. And then Ronald's not going to like her, which is ultimately the ultimate goal, right? To be able to connect with him on a real level. So I was like, no, I got to do this. So it was a lot of instinct. It was a lot of, it was scary, but I'm like, well, I'm doing this. I have to speak up. So, and my producers, oh my God, they were just amazing and open, because they're like, sure. It's like, what? Like, I love you guys. But
And
so
you're
that's,
doing it amazingly with dexterity and comedic timing. Inez is she's a wonderful character, and people are falling in love with her.
thank
I
you.
mean, social media is just blowing up in love with all of these characters, but
Yeah.
especially just based on what you're saying right now, you guys all have a very unique voice. You have a mastery over this voice, and to see like this following of each of these characters like they are real human beings. What is it like to take all of that in? And are you finding the ability to kind of still separate yourself from this world, or are you finding that these worlds are sort of merging?
Well, it's interesting. You gave me goosebumps. But little did we know. I mean, when the first day, because everyone, all but 2 of us, got booked directly from tape, right? So I never met anybody. The first day of rehearsal was when I met everybody. Everybody else had callbacks and then had to be in a group. So there was no chemistry read with the group, right? So it was a little scary, because there was well-known actors, you know, people that do stand up, very well known, and then people that do actors that do improv, but long form. I don't do long form. I'm not a stand-up comedian. So it was a little off-putting at first, because I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get fired. Oh my God. They're like doing 30 minutes 30-minute specials here. And I'm like, oh my God. I got so intimidated during the rehearsal process, right? But I had to hone in and tell myself, okay, I'm bringing something different. I'm bringing me, Maria, and I'm going to ground and I'm going to connect. That's what I'm going to bring. And really just be within my character and know, and we all had to know everything about our characters. And also as a group, we had to trust each other like 100% because there was no cuts. So there was of like surrender where you just had to go, okay, and in it and trusting, and then just being focused and being present. That was really the main things. And Ronald connected with us, and because there was like a lot of crazies, so he connected with the most with my friend on the show and in real life, Vanessa, because we connected with him on a different level.
Yeah, it's like yes, and
Yeah.
on a whole new level.
On a whole new level. Yes, that's right.
It's incredible to watch. Well, you definitely earned your jury seat for sure. What was it like to work with James Marsden, and known actor, and kind of how did he slip into this role? Was this an offer? Was he really excited to embark on something that was kind of like nothing like he had ever done, being in this like comedic improvisational role?
Yeah.
Did you get any insight on kind of like his
I
perspective of that?
did. Yeah. So he's friends with David Bernard, who is also the creator, executive producer of White Lotus. So
Okay.
they had worked together on a different project. And then Susie Ferris, our casting director, had worked with James, had history with him, and just thought that he would be the perfect fit for this. And also, James would, go on to tell us too that he'd always wanted to do, improv, that he's never done it before. And it's, he's always respected it and really looked up to it and really wanted to see if he could do it. And he did it, I mean, quite brilliantly. It was really amazing, amazing to watch. Because
Yeah.
it was like he was being himself, but this ego, very sorry, I was saying bad word. He was being a very heightened version of himself. So it was really interesting and fun and great to play with. And I mean, and you get to see each episode, which is between 25 to 30 minutes per episode, but in reality we were there for 8 to 10 hours a day. So I know everything about these people, well, their characters, so it's, you have to, I mean, it's really, we had to be on our game because there was no like, okay, I'm going to rest up here. No, you had to be present because every single thing, everything for us, we had to be on top of. And also, what did we learn about this, each character? How long did we know each other? We can't act like we know each other, for weeks on end when it was just the first day. So it was a lot. It was amazing. It was exhilarating. It was scary. It was amazing. I mean, it was everything. It was everything.
Yeah,
And
this
really,
show is this show is really special for so many reasons. I think one of the things that is brilliant is all of you masterfully bring sort of the reputation of celebrity in general that sort of dehumanizes a celebrity, and we forget how they operate in the real world. And I think social media in general has brought celebrity onto a platform that sort of is like the great neutralizer for humanity. And I think jury duty really encapsulates what that's like for a celebrity to just be in the world. And it really showcases the humanity of that and like the idiosyncrasies that we all have in our personalities. So since you, Maria, are on the road to becoming a celebrity, I wanted you to talk to us a little bit about that road, the endurance of an actor. And as you kind of settle into this like new stage of your life, Tell us a little bit about your career up to this point and what it feels like now to be where you are.
Yeah, sure. So, I've been working since 2007. But guest star here, on many different shows actually, but guest role here, guest role there. And then Latina Christmas Special, which is the off-Broadway hit show that I co-wrote and I co-star in with two other fabulous comedians, Sandra Falls and Diana Yanez.
Sidebar, I'm a groupie of that show. Everybody should do that. I'll put something in the bio below so you can stalk her on that level too.
And yeah, just working in this business, it's I mean, as you know, there's highs and lows in betweens. It's really a roller coaster, ride. So you never know. And like, for example, like this show. So I've been working since '07, and I've recurred on shows, but at this caliber, I have been just, I mean, I mean, being recognized as Maria Russell, being stopped on the street, or people, fans of the show, quoting what I say on the show. I mean, it's literally, it takes me back a little bit. I'm like, oh my god, like, am I gonna cry right now? This is it's like it's such a validation of the work, not just, and again, not just because it's a hit show, but it's kind of a validation for myself of all the hard work, everything that I've put in, and I've never given up. And that's the thing, persevering. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're 20 years old, or if you're 50 years old, or if you're 80 years old. It's something that, if I always felt like I needed to do this. I need to do this. I want to make people feel something, feel good. I want to make people laugh. And I think it's just, I've always wanted to be that, right? I've always been the class clown since grade school, class clown, class clown. But it's so much more deeper than that, because there's always this sense of responsibility in a way that I want people to feel something, feel good. And this show, I mean, it's like the ultimate validation. And it's just, I literally pinched myself and go, is this real? And then the billboards, I mean, it's wild. I'm like, this is this really happening? It's like what you dream of as like a kid. I'm like, when I went to go see the billboards, I'm like, what? This is so weird right now. I'm like, this is bizarre, but in the bestest way, you know? But you just
It's
never
really
give up. You
beautiful
do not
to
give
watch.
up.
I love that. So that prompts another question to me, because being your friend, as a human being, you are very collaborative, you're very supportive, you're the champion of other people's work. And there was a part of me that was not surprised when this happened to a person like you. And so I was wondering if you could impart a little bit of wisdom onto the actors out there that are pursuing this, and how we can elevate other people at the same time that we cultivate our own careers. Just a bit of advice to any actor out there.
Absolutely. I think it's, when I go speak to kids at schools, younger kids, about career day or this thing, I tell them the same thing. I always say, listen, this is a business where you're going to hear more no's than yeses, right? That you can't, if you don't get a part, you can't take it personally, that it might shatter your soul at times. However, if it's something that you need to do, that you're like, no, I got to go perform, I have to do this, then you must do it. And I mean, really, it becomes a numbers game once you're in it. If you're working, if you're studying, if you're creating, I mean, we live in an age now where literally your phone, you could do anything on, your phone. And also, you brought up something really wonderful about collaborating. Um, Collaborating with other actors, and just getting your content out and supporting. I mean, I know it sounds, like, oh, it's not a big deal, but I've always been that person, even before the business. But I've always been that person that would always want to go support. But it means something. It means something to go support someone in the arts, to go support a friend, to go support someone that you know. You learn a lot too, and it's a give and take. It's a give and take, and you know, in this business, it's if you're not creating, if you're not collaborating, then I don't know. You have to, you know, it's something you keep on. If that makes sense. You just keep on doing it. And, you know, it's, this is another big one. I will say this is that, and I've had to learn this throughout the years, but um, when we would go into the casting office, I would immediately be like, look in the room, scan the room, and be like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. Oh my God, she's so skinny. Oh my God. Oh my God. So right there, I'd be like, okay, I lost, not getting it. Because I would like talk myself out of it before I even got into the
Comparing
room.
yourself to other actors in the
Yes.
room. Yeah.
Yes. So it's something that I've learned. I mean, well, now I haven't been into a room because of COVID, but
Yeah.
yeah, but it's something, you know, that I've had to learn to do where I leave it I leave it in the room. So once I leave the audition, or once I kind of just have to kind of put it away and be like, okay, I did the best. That was the best that I could do. That's the best I did. I did a great one, or I had a great audition, or maybe it didn't feel so good. That's okay. I'm going to leave it, because that can eat you up, man. That can eat you up. You know,
That's
I
really great
wish.
advice. One of the greatest pieces of advice I ever got is like when you're auditioning, you're not trying to hand them this package that says this is what you want to see. You create with them. It's like you make that sculpture in the room with them, which is your audition.
Absolutely. And you know, and to second that, um, is, you know, some, you know, people will say, well, how do you create room for different ethnicities or different, you know, whatever it is? Honey, I do it all the time. Sometimes things aren't written the way that they're written. I go, oh, you know what? I'm going to make her this way. So my role on Tacoma FD, she was never Latina. She was just a lieutenant, right? But I thought, oh my God, it would be so much fun to bring some Latina into her. So I did it. I cussed out Wendy O'Brien and Chris Garrett at the office. But what happened with that is that the guys completely changed the character, the name, who she is, where she came from, and the lines. They let me improvise and created, you know, Salazar, because she was not Salazar before. She was McManus before. So it's something where taking risks and just going, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? They can tell you, no, that doesn't work. We're going to keep it this way. Okay, no problem. But you have to take chances. You have to take risks. That's the way you create. You know, you create your own luck. You create your own characters as well when you walk in that door. You know, you feel it out and go, you know what? I'm just going to play her this way. This feels better this way. And that's what I do a lot of the time with characters.
Speaking of creating your own content and creating sort of your own vision of your career, with the WGA on strike and a lot of creatives sort of scared right now as to like what are the next steps.
Yeah.
What do you think? How do you think that's going to affect the show and also you as a working artist?
Well, that's so layered. Well, the one thing is that, oh God, what the chances of this timing of the strike, right? For I'm like making it about me, but it is ultimately me, but actors as well, because you know, one of the producers and one of the writers are like, you guys would be getting offers left and right if it wasn't for the strike, you know. But it has to happen. I mean, fair is fair, right? And this, I have a feeling we're going to be next, because you know, it's not fair. Listen, this is the number one show. Jury Duty is the number one show right now. I think they were saying it was like 1 million at one point. It was like 1 million views an hour, something crazy. We don't see those residuals. We don't see the streaming residuals. How is that fair when the heads of all these companies and all these you know, all these studios are making gazillions of dollars when it does not trickle down, and it's not fair. It's like they're making all the money, you know, and it's not it's just not fair. And
And you guys are the boots on the ground, and the writers are the boots on the ground of the actual product that they're buying at, you know, 1 million views a minute. So yeah, that makes sense to me to support it as
yeah,
as a member of
100%.
SAG. I think, you know, as a fellow union member, I think it's really
Yes,
important
it is
to
really
support.
important. And, you know, and then, yeah, and that's where I stand. I stand with them, and they're going to stand with us. I feel we're going to be next.
But people will, I think that the public, after a while, when the public starts to notice that they're not getting the content that they're hungry for, especially with a hit show like this, I think that's
Yeah.
when people will begin to budge, because
Yeah.
there is the naivete of the audience in a way that doesn't kind of understand the integral elements that like allows them to be able to view these on a platform. And I think once they start to miss content, there'll be some movement. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I agree, it's important. Right now we have a lot to salivate on. So, and I'm excited to salivate on it. I want to hear, as we close up, we have a few minutes here, but I would love for you to tell our viewers, since before you were Inez, Latina Christmas Special is a very special part of your journey, and talk about creating your own content and elevating yourself to be sort of available for the next opportunity. I would love for you, even though Latina Christmas Special, we are in May, it seems a little premature, although like Target will have Christmas stuff out in a month.
Yeah.
I would love for you to just tell us a little bit about the journey to creating that. And as a little bit of a teaser, your character talks a lot about your journey as an actor, and I'm wondering how that will transition so that the audiences that do love the show will get a different show this Christmas.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So Latina Christmas Special was the brain of Diana Yanez. It was her concept. And she had approached me initially to star in this 3 mini one-woman show about our childhoods, right? No, exactly. And I remember when she asked me, I froze and I was like, uh, thank you, Diana, but I can't. Thank you. And she was like, what? So I was like, I can't be myself and speak to people. Like I could be a character, but not myself. No way. Oh my God, I'll die. So we have a coach in common, and Diana spoke with our coach, and our coach spoke with me and said, no, you're doing it. You're doing. And I was like, okay. And let me tell you, it was blood. It was literally blood, sweat, and tears. And I accepted. And it was the best thing I ever did for myself as an artist and as a human, everything. And to work alongside with Sandra Valls and Diana, it's really been such a journey. And we're doing it after, I think, 8 years now. I mean, it's crazy. And it's the same, has the heart and soul, I feel, as jury duty at the end.
Yeah.
And that's why people come back year after year. That's why people watch the show multiple times. It's because it makes you feel something. You get to connect. It makes you feel good. It doesn't make you feel like, I'm so angry right now. I'm gonna go burn down a car. So it makes you feel good, you know, it makes you feel something. And that's, I think, what's missing. And I think that's the beauty of the show, of jury duty. And that's the beauty of Latina Christmas Special too, is that you leave feeling cleansed in a way, like, oh God, this feels so good. This feels so good. And who doesn't want to feel that? You know?
Absolutely. Maria, I'm so grateful that you joined us today. And thank you so much for telling us about your journey. I think it's so important for, as as audiences fall in love with you and your character, to kind of know where you came from, the other things that you're doing as we embark on this strike, to be able to have a place where your fans will be able to see you on a theater stage as well. Excited because you're not going anywhere, and we're so excited here at the Hollywood Times to have gotten the opportunity to sit down with you. If you could tell our audiences that don't know you yet how they can find you online, your social media. Yeah.
Sure. So on my socials, on Instagram, Instagram and on TikTok, I am Maria Ann Russell. And then on Twitter, I'm Maria Russell. And then you could also catch me this summer on season 4 of Tacoma FD on True TV.
I love it. Maria, you are a delight. I am going to go now continue to binge watch Jury Duty.
Woo!
I adore you.
I adore you.
Thank you
Mwah.
so much. Have a great night,
Love you.
everybody.
Good night. Thanks,
Love
guys.
you.